Hello and welcome back, YouTube. So it's halfway through my shift at Restaurant Depot, and since I ended my last video, I can't believe what all has happened and transpired. So Thursday, July 13th, 2023, still 8:35 p.m. I think my break technically started at 8:30, but I didn't get to the break room till 8:33, so I don't know. Am I going to milk them by the minute? Maybe. Trying to figure out what to do for lunch since I didn't bring anything. And I asked him what was close by, and he's like, Jack in the Box. And I'm like, yeah, it's too expensive. And he said, one of the guys I'm working with actually works here. He said, Panda Express. And I just kind of giggled, and I'm like, oh, there's 7-Eleven right there. I'm good. So I can even walk there. So no need wasting gas when I can walk. Knowing that there's a 7-Eleven this close that I can go to during my half-hour break is definitely a perk for this job. Because as I've said many times, I really enjoy the 7-Eleven app. 7-Eleven has pretty consistently good deals, and 32-ounce Mountain Dew for 32-ounce Big Gulp Mountain Dew and probably two $1 hot dogs. That's a solid meal for less than $3. Can't beat that with a stick. So the job has been pretty amazing, but something that happened on my way in was even beyond that, and I'll explain that once I finish up here at 7-Eleven. Well, that was fun. My apologies for the vertical video, but I got a fountain drink, and I got the Italian sausages for the discounted hot dog price again. So 2 Italian sausages, that's even better than 2 hot dogs. They had the 7-Eleven pies discounted for $1, and yeah, my 79-cent Big Gulp. So I got out of there for less than $4 with a good meal for my half-hour break. Wow, there goes the bus. Route 77 Baseline is not a route I take very often. Kind of wild seeing it this far out. I've never taken a bus into this part of Mesa before. By the way, I'm at I just left the 7-Eleven at Extension in Baseline, working at Restaurant Depot tonight through Winolo. By the way, I got the full 7-Eleven experience there. Not only was it an Indian clerk with the accent, by the way, that clerk was awesome. Nothing negative to say about him. That's not a negative thing. It just is what it is. And I have nothing against Indians at all. In fact, one of my best friends is Indian. And I met his parents who immigrated here from India, who are very traditional Indian. And I thought that might be super awkward, but I really clicked with them. So, in fact, my friend who's funny because like he looks very Indian, but he doesn't sound Indian, and people will be like, where are you from? He's like, I'm from Yuma. No, really, like, where are you from? He's like, I'm from Yuma. So it's always find that kind of funny. But yeah, I got the full Indian cashier 7-Eleven experience. He had the music cranked up behind the cash register, some kind of traditional Indian music. I don't know. It sounded pretty alien to me, but it's all right. It's an experience, right? And speaking of experiences, and I got to wrap this up because I want to go in and eat, but I don't want to be walking up on my random coworkers looking weird with a cell phone recording. But I got to get this story out while it's fresh in my mind. So, as I was on the way over here, I'm pretty sure at some point I mentioned that the owner of Gilligan's, Captain Mike, liked to shop here. And that I'd never been inside this place, but he had told me about it. Well, I parked on the side, and I wasn't really sure if I was allowed to park there, but apparently that's just fine. And as I walk around, and I'm trying to figure out where I'm supposed to go in and where I'm supposed to check in and so on, and of course all four of my phones were overheating. Like when I finally had a chance to sit down and look at the screens, both Obamaphones 4 and 5 had pop-up screens telling me that they were overheating and the batteries were critically hot. So it was hot as hell today, and it's going to be a whole lot worse in the coming days. I can't believe there was a forecast for 119. And that was up from the 117 they were originally forecasting for the day. So will we top 120 this weekend? It's possible. It's extremely possible. Anyway, sure shit, so there's one door that's exits only, which is by the registers. The entrance is separated. I've never shopped here before, so like don't really know what's within this building. And by the way, this place primarily is for people that stock restaurants. It's not a normal retailer. And it's like a warehouse inside. Kind of like Home Depot, but a lot more like a warehouse. It's a different experience. But anyway, sure as shit, I get to the entrance, and there's Captain Mike's van, the Mark, Gilligan's Castaways van. I'm like, no fucking way. And I look in the van, and I can see somebody sitting in the van, and I'm like, well, I wonder who would be sitting in the van. That's odd. And so I can't really see through the windows because of the glare of the sun, because, of course, it's just hot as hell today, and the sun was out in full force. So I kind of walk around to the other side, and I'm waving. I can't even really tell what side it is. I can kind of tell there's somebody in there. And I'm waving, and I kind of put my face a little bit closer to the glass, and it was Mike and Greg's father, who I've always just referred to as Pops. And I've known that man, my God, probably, I want to say 16, maybe 17 years. And looking damn good for 96, by the way. But yeah, it's been many years since I've seen him. And he seemed a little startled that somebody was coming up to the van. And I walked around to the other side where he was and kind of tapped on the window. And he rolled the window down. And at first he looked a little hesitant, and I'm like, how you doing, Pops? And it took a second, but then he recognized me and smiled, and we had a great little conversation. So I had a little bit of time to kill. And then when I was in trying to look at who I needed to check in with, then I ran into Mike, had a pretty cool talk with him, and apparently a bunch of the people that here know him, and he's like, oh yeah, I'll give you a glowing, they're like, this guy's a hard worker, he's good, and he pointed at me. So it's been awesome today. Although one thing that's going on that I think is really funny, by the way, here's the entrance. So basically, they're assigning the temps to a given aisle or two to work on stocking them and facing the product and whatnot. And they gave me the mayonnaise aisle. I'm the only white guy that showed up, and they gave me the mayonnaise aisle. I can't make this shit up. Hello, YouTube. Well, that was a fun job. I'm still tripping that I saw Pops tonight. That was just such a pleasant, unexpected bonus. So, it's late Thursday night, although technically Friday, July 14th, 2023, 1:09 a.m., and I need to get myself home. God, I totally want to bounce to a karaoke bar and sing a song before last call. I really do. But nah, I should just really take my ass home. Especially considering that the two spots that I've been going to for karaoke on Thursdays, which would be, I can barely see to get out of here. My headlight covers make my headlights so dim. I am hot and sweaty. That is a hot and sweaty kind of job. Not that that's a bad thing. I don't mind getting hot and sweaty, but yeah, I need to. Dang, I wish I had some cash on me. I want to get another Big Gulp there at 7-Eleven. Damned if I'm going to swipe a credit card for 79 cents. Yeah, I have no cash on me at all right now. Kind of wish I'd have grabbed another free bottle of water from work on the way out. Manager, really interesting. I did comment about, he was talking about, hey, you want to come back here? And I'm like, yeah, generally I try to pick higher paying jobs off Lenovo. He kind of had the look on his face like that bit of reality stung for him. But, man, I'm not sure what time it closed. When I started, there were customers still in the store, which is it's a warehouse store, so warehouse/store. So it's kind of interesting. It's like a combination of like how you would do warehouse stocking, but also a combination of how you do retail stocking. But yeah, pretty basic. Pretty basic, simple job. Now it seems like the pay went down between when I looked at the job last and when I accepted it. And I've never seen that sort of thing happen with Manolo before. And and maybe it's in my head. Maybe it's in my head. But I'm thinking before I accept that one and anything other than HelloFresh. HelloFresh has been very consistent. But I think at this point, before I accept anything that isn't HelloFresh, I'm going to be doing some screenshotting, because at this point it's just, I have a hunch and I think I remember something, but without any kind of proof, it just makes me look problematic. But if I call them out of it and I have screenshots, that's a whole different story. Anyway, as much as I want to do karaoke tonight, it's 1:09. You know what? It's 1:09 on the Saturn clock. Let me check the iPhone because it just dinged. 1:12 on the the two karaoke shows I've been going to on Thursdays, Newtown Saloon and Roadrunner. Both of them typically wrap up around 1. So even though it's not last call yet, karaoke's probably done it both. So, and again, I have no cash, so yeah, I should probably just be trying to save my money. I mean, I still have a lot of bills to handle this month. Debating which route I want to take home. Whether I want to stay on these lanes and take the 101 to the 202. I think I kind of want to go over to Castaways, which of course to get there I want to take the 101. I always have the option going home from here to also take the stay on the 60 to the 10 to the 143. Of course, that's going through the curve construction, but when the traffic's not heavy, I kind of enjoy going through that just to see the progress on the construction. But yeah, at 4 in the afternoon, screw that. I'm trying to stay clear of it. But yeah, it's kind of tempting to go over to Castaways to see if I can catch Captain Mike when he comes in to close out, because it was just so awesome, like running into him, and just even Tinfoil, like seeing his dad, because there was a moment where he looked genuinely kind of scared, of like, oh my God, who's this guy, knocking on the window, what the fuck's going on? And it took a moment, and I mean, the man's 96 years old. I said, I feel like I've known him now about, I want to say 16 years, maybe more. And in a way, the Field family kind of feels like family to me. I mean, I worked there as their karaoke guy and DJ and AV guy for, oh God, I feel like at Gilligan's I saw at least 4 complete, with the exception of a couple of mainstays, like of course, like Yeto and Big Brett, who will probably work there till he dies. Other than that, like it seems like I saw a good solid complete turnover of the staff of like four or 5 times. Meanwhile, the Fields just felt more and more like family every year, especially when we went through the karaoke lawsuit. Just the way they stood behind me was amazing. In fact, there was I think both Pops and Pops is very much retired now, and at 96 he should be, but it was awesome. He was going on a food run with Mike, and that's probably just father-son quality time, but I'm sure he's still kind of supervising. That's his business. Ultimately, that's his business. Gilligan's and Castaways is. That's his legacy. So, but yeah, Pops used to be very involved in the day-to-day business. Back in the day, back when I started, for many years while I was there. And I do believe when Sound Choice was sending their minions in there trying to intimidate them regarding their karaoke. Well, your karaoke host is being sued, blah, blah, blah. Both of them stood up to them and was like, you need to remove yourself. There's nothing wrong with our karaoke host, so you need to remove yourself from the property before I have you removed. And which is just awesome, because I know a lot of other KJs that were involved in those karaoke lawsuits. Once the Sound Choice minions started coming in and trying to intimidate them, they lost their jobs. And some of those people lost their jobs when they were doing nothing wrong, when their
karaoke operations were completely legit. So it was a really fucked up thing, and I'm glad I'm one of the few hosts that had the knowledge to fight it. Being sued is a very intimidating thing, and fortunately, and I've been talking quite a bit recently about my ex-girlfriend Connie, whom I met when I was homeless trying to figure out what to do about my divorce. And yeah, she gave me one hell of a crash course in law. And all I can say is you can learn a lot from a disbarred lawyer that loves you. Just saying. And I genuinely believe that for quite some time she loved me too. But yeah, I learned a lot about law from her, and I learned a lot on my own as well, but definitely learned a lot from her. I mean, when that whole time I was homeless during the pendency of my divorce, and then after my divorce, I spent the majority of my time in the Superior Court Law Library, in the old ASU Ross Blakely Law Library, and in the State Archives Library. Two of those things don't exist anymore. In fact, I kind of feel like three of those things don't exist anymore. It just seems like nobody researches law in law books. And back then, I mean, yeah, there was Westlaw. Westlaw was a thing. I could look up things online. But I learned how to do it with books, and I just fell in love with law books, and learning how to read law books, and learning how to read citations and references, and learning how to use citations and references in legal documents. And my God, I would love to get a job as a paralegal, but anybody hiring for a paralegal, they want a degree and a certification and a whole lot of experience, and all I can say is I'm self-taught and I'm really good at it. But one of my claims to fame that nobody can take away from me, but there's no proof that I did it, because I was unlicensed. I did it for somebody else. Basically, I showed it to him and I had him review it. I said, just so you know, you're kind of on your own on this one, but here's the research I did on it, and you're going to have to just put all your information in here as pro se, and sign it. It's kind of on you right now. I'm not licensed. I'm just trying to help you out. But I literally wrote a legal brief, or I think it would be called a memorandum of points to authorities in support of a motion defending a man's right to nurse his infant, and to actually breastfeeding is not the right word, and especially now that chest feeding is a thing. Don't even get me started on that. That's some fucking nonsense. But basically, he had been given joint custody of his not quite newborn, but baby. We're talking a baby. I want to say 2-3-month-old baby, still nursing, and he had been given a substantial amount of parenting time. And his ex-wife, or baby mama, I can't remember which it was absolutely refusing to give him his parenting time on the basis of, I'm nursing. The baby has to stay with me at all times because I'm nursing. And wrote a really weak motion to defend, wrote a motion to modify the parenting time that she was not complying with, on that basis. And it was a handwritten thing. She didn't do it with a lawyer. And the thing that I did, it in many ways, it looked better than if it was done by a lawyer, because I doubt any lawyer would have taken the time that I took to research it. But I started with statute. I always start with the rules of court and then move to statute. But title, I think it was Title 25. I used to know all these numbers by heart, but I think it's Title 25. But the title of it is basically child custody, marriage, divorce, and those kind of relations. That's what guides all Arizona custody proceedings. It is in the statute that there shall be no preference on the basis of gender. And to not allow him equal custody and equal parenting time because he can't physically breastfeed a child, and she was breastfeeding, is still on the basis of gender. And I found some case law that supported it, and then I pretty much went with that if that's what she truly desired, then what she needed to be doing was pumping and providing him with frozen breast milk or refrigerated breast milk. That he was completely capable of breastfeeding the child with pumped breast milk, but the mother would have to show the dedication to the child, and it was in the. And then I went on this. It isn't, that there's all this research that it is in the child's best interest. So in the response of pleading, I asked for the judge to order the mother not only to comply with her previously ordered parenting time that she had not complied with, but also to provide extra parenting time for the father to make up for the time that she had denied him, which is, there's plenty of statute to support that and case law to support that. And then the other thing that I had asked for is for a court order ordering her to pump. Now, I don't think he did that. He said that she can if she wants, but he didn't order that because there's no authority for that. But I figured, hey, it didn't hurt to ask. But he highly recommended that she do that, but said that there's no statutory. But anyway, other than that, everything that I asked for, the judge ordered. And I had asked for findings. I forget what the motion is that you need to file, but you need to ask if you want to have the minute entry have the judge show what conclusions of law he's using to support his order. You have to. The rules of court in Arizona require that you file a document asking for that, which I did. The guy who I was helping did, but I drafted that. I had a form for that. It was pretty simple, and he did that. And yeah, he cited laws and said that nope, that we can't. To deny him parenting time or to give her additional parenting time and him less on the basis of her breastfeeding would be an order on the basis of gender, and that's illegal. And flies in the face of and stuff. Anyway, that was amazing. And yeah, I that's a skill I have. But boy, I don't see me ever getting hired for a job where somebody's looking for that because I don't have the qualifications and credentials. And how do I even go in and say, oh yeah, I did a whole bunch of unlicensed lawyering. How do I even say that and make that look good? There are a handful of attorneys that know me that do know what skills I have as a paralegal and as a legal researcher and whatnot, and my ability to draft motions. My custody attorney has done my stuff. Probably about 75% of my documents I drafted myself, and I sent them to her in Word document format, and she might make a couple of minor tweaks to them. Sometimes all she did was just print them and sign them. I don't know. It's something I think about a lot. Anyway, Priscilla's been texting me, but unless she wants to have a little bit of bedroom fun in her bedroom, I'm not going. So I'm gonna make sure that I get that in writing in a text message before I head over there. Because damned if I'm sleeping in her bed while she sleeps on the couch. She did text me back and say she's awake, but yeah, I'm not doing a bunch of texting while driving on the freeway. Anyway, I'm gonna come in here and see if Captain Mike is on his way and text Priscilla, see what's up with that, and I will most likely be back with at least one more segment of video. Hello, YouTube. So I've pretty much spent the time since I was here. I didn't get any drinks since I don't have any cash. Chatting with the brand new bartender. Her name is Layla, and she's freaking gorgeous. There's also a guy, I've seen him here before, but I don't know that I've ever really talked to him. I really don't come to Castaways that much anymore, and it's complicated. Yeah, sometimes I go there for karaoke, but going there for karaoke feels like visiting an ex-girlfriend who's married somebody else at the house she shares with her new husband, and then seeing all the old friends that you had when she was your girlfriend at the place. It's the best way I can think of to describe what it feels like for me. And don't get me wrong, like sometimes I still have a good time over there, and it's nothing against the host, Sean. Sean's awesome. But yeah, it's you know, and whatever. I mean, I absolutely no hard feelings against the Fields. I don't blame them for not hiring me. The way I left was really shitty, and I mean, I had my reasons, and it had absolutely nothing to do with them. It was just personal stuff I was going through, and a lot of it was money, a lot of it was lime. At one point, they were for a long time they were letting me do lime while I was doing karaoke, if I could juggle it without fucking up the show. And at one point, they told me I couldn't do it anymore, and that just shifted my money so much that, I mean, I've done well within the, you know, that was insane that they were actually letting me do it to begin with, you know. So I don't blame them for it, you know. It was not anything bad. It just kind of was what it was, but it changed my financial situation greatly to the point where it just didn't make sense for me to keep there. And I should have ended that differently, but there was some other personal issue I was going through. But yeah, I just mostly spent the time just texting and chatting with Mike. I was really hoping he'd get there sooner, but at this point it's like, I need to go home. Although now I'm thinking about grabbing another gig from Winolo, because there's something that has popped up, but it's I'm getting it on. It popped up on I think it's Obamaphone 4, and yeah, I need to get home and get in the air conditioning. It's hot out here, and I mean, yeah, the air's working great in the car, but I can't sit in this car even at night. And keep in mind, like, it's still hot as hell out right now. Even though it's 2:21 in the morning. What's the weather widgets? It's still 98 degrees out. And on that note, I think I heard the forecast for tomorrow is 114 or 115. So yeah, damn. This is that, you know, sometimes Phoenix gets insanely hot that people warn you about. And whatever, I've been through it before. Like, as people have been talking about how rough it is, you know, I kind of come back with, yeah, I've been here over 50 years. I lived here back in the 90s when it hit 122 and they had to shut Sky Harbor down. So, yeah, I'll get through it. But God, I wish the cooling system in my car was working better for this. Anyway, I don't know. I might be gone for the night. If I'm done for the night, if so, hey, thanks for watching. Although I'm wide awake. If I can get some late night work through Winolo, I'm gonna take it.